Hey there, Fatty here. Just want to make a video lesson, just going in depth, just about multi-day bounces. Got a bunch going on. Thought it'd be a good opportunity to clear up how I trade it and, something to learn from. So, as we know, Indo, here we have the main energy play. Um, Decent bounce. Usually to my stats, like I've said before, Uh, these typically spike around 27 to 33%. So I usually take my quick 10-15% with these plays. And then I'll let them ride a little bit longer sometimes, but usually just take the quick snipe. Whatever happens after that, amazing. But just want to take the predictable part of the move and just move on. So here we have Indo failing to break down in the morning after solid downtrend, showing some bouncing, and then it reclaims VWAP and the previous close. Or that was actually wait, is it just yet? I don't know yet, but reclaims VWAP and keeps holding, even though it is a bit choppy, and you get this solid move all the way to the low 40s, roughly 30% or so opportunity there. And now, as you can see, it looks to be kind of failing again. So we'll see what happens if it fades some more and then we get maybe another opportunity later for a bounce. But right now, it's just kind of a waiting game. It's more of a reactionary kind of pattern to you still have to wait and see what the momentum is going to be like in the morning. Um, Sometimes things change. Here we got Bcel, not in the energy sector, but great example here of a multi-day bounce. Here we have kind of a iffy, choppy morning. Solid opportunity depending how you play it. Again, 290s, 280s, selling in the low threes here. But late day, this thing fails to break down, makes higher lows. You get increase in volume slowly and reclaims VWAP, holds three. You get a confirmation here. So buying in the low threes, risking off three 290s, 290-ish, cracking the VWAP. You got a good risk reward, looking for it to break 320 and head higher. You get a quick 10, 12% or so in this quick move, and then ends up failing here. So it is still kind of holding up, but once the short squeeze happens and there's no more shorts to be squeezed, it's gonna head the other way. It's not really up much on anything else besides that, unless there really is heavy buying, which sometimes you will see that after this first day they might hold up and make a previous high at daybreak and head higher. That does sometimes happen, which is why I do still have some of these excuse me energy plays on watch, even though they did perform today. For example, where is it? Husa, solid move today from the low sixes, mid sixes, getting to the mid nines. So roughly 40% here. Still kind of holding up. So this thing could possibly continue higher. But that's not really the move I'm trying to play. That's kind of me getting out of my comfort zone. The first bounce is usually the strongest, and that's the most predictable one, and that's that's usually it. I take a predictable part of the move and I move on. So what we have left is, oh, this is gonna cut out 1 second. Sorry about that. The S is tied to the pause and start button. But here we have Ensv, for example. This one has yet to bounce yet, so this is gonna be my top watch, as this is still on the backside. Two solid red days here. I'm gonna be looking for this to fail to break down past the mid twos, ideally hold up around three, and then offer a solid quick move to 4, maybe higher, but I'm just gonna be looking for it to test 4, um, right around 30% right there. So maybe even less than that. So we'll see how this reacts tomorrow. It is a low float, low market cap, like many of these plays. But what you're really trying to do, what you're really trying to see is, so you have this front side here. It gets parabolic, and at some point it's going to come down, and shorts aren't going to be getting squeezed up. They're going to be making money, and at some point it's not just going to keep failing down lower and lower. Dip buyers are going to come in. Some shorts are going to cover as they're up 40, 50% from the highs here, even more than that. Um, so once that happens, you'll see some bottoming action. And usually, what I do, how I trade it, is I like for it to set a high in the morning and let it consolidate maybe for a couple minutes to really figure out which direction it's going to go. And once it breaks that high that it set, that's my entry point. Let me try to give an example here. Um, this is kind of a weak one. I know there's a better one out there. USWS, pretty good example here. I'll take it. Let me show you the daily chart. So you have this run up, failure, and this one ended up having an offering and got a panic midday or late day-ish here. So we'll see how this reacts. It was at the market offering, so kind of shocked that it had this reaction. This will be on watch again for a potential bounce play, as it looks like shorts are still in control here. But in the morning here, what I saw was, so it has this high in the morning and it failed to break down and slowly climb back. Volume was pretty solid. After a lot of selling within that first minute, we got even more buying for the next 2-3 minutes, and that was propping it up. So once it started breaking 163, I started getting in. Was a little slow, got in at 165 or so, and it was a market order, so I forgot exactly what it was, but it was, or sorry, yeah, it was 165. I don't know why I said the high was 163. My bad, excuse me. I was looking at this pre-market kind of consolidation high. But so once you get that reversal, that, like, this is the indicator that it should head higher. The momentum is going to start coming back to the long side, and shorts are going to get squeezed, because if it doesn't break that high and that high sets and it starts heading lower, that's just showing more momentum on the seller side. So if it starts breaking up higher, which is something that it shouldn't do after having a red day, and shorts are probably expecting it to head lower, now that it's showing that it's going to start reversing, once it breaks that high, that's the entry. Um, CEI, let me see what this one is doing. Solid run up, beautiful run up here. Now looking to hold one-ish, it looks like. Didn't really offer a solid bounce today, so I would still keep this on watch for potential bounce tomorrow. Yeah, possibly could get back to the 140s area, 150. So we'll see how that is. But right now, this thing looks like it wants to hold right around 1, creating a solid bottom there. So I do think this one does have some opportunity to set up for a potential bounce tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe the day after. I don't know how much it'll fade. That's the one thing. It's not an exact science. Just go straight up, down, right back up. Sometimes they go in a little lull and take a couple days to consolidate, and then you get a solid move. I guess an example. What was an example of that from last week? I'm blanking out. So many tickers. Uh, Shoot, I forgot. Okay, whatever. But for example, yeah. So this one has put in a solid bounce. I don't know if I'm going to be watching some of these for a continuation, considering I'm probably going to be looking at Ensv and CEI for bounce plays, as they haven't totally put in a bottom or bounce yet. They're still kind of fading. USWS, more speculative, but because of the offering, but also will keep it on watch to see how the volume is, if we will get a reversal and potential retest of the high ones, maybe. So I'll have those three on watch for sure. There's Kala as well here, holding up beautifully, threatening to have a multi-day bounce or multi-day breakout over 155. I could possibly see this be a VWAP play in the morning, open price play, if there's some volume to potentially test the mid ones. If it holds up there, it could consolidate, fail to break down. Shorts could get squeezed again, and we'll have a solid breakout over 155. That's the conservative play, which I'll probably wait for to see if it gets back to the mid ones for a breakout. But yeah, I hope this was helpful to kind of give you an idea of how I approach multi-day bounces. TMC here, still, what's the percentage here? Yeah, ran 100%, not too bad. I can see this potentially offering a bounce. Nothing significant. I like when they run 2, 300, 400, 500 plus. It really offers solid range as well as, plenty of eyes on stocks like that just take off, like Indo and Husa, where they're having some serious volume. So a lot of people have trades in these. They're gonna want to cover. Maybe people missed out. They want to dip buy. So wherever the volume's at, that's gonna tell you the story. So some of these might die and not bounce and have a strong bounce. So they might not all act the same. Keep that in mind. But generally, just think of a bouncing ball. First bounce, usually the strongest. If momentum picks up in the sector again and they start breaking out again, that's another story. We'll start playing them as breakouts and then possibly having another multi-day bounce after that. But kind of seems like, as you can see, the past couple of days here, volume has really died out and significantly reduced. So yeah. For example, oh, was it Muln? I think it was Muln. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about, where sometimes it doesn't just go up and down. This one had a few extra days of fading, and then you got a solid move back to the mid ones. It is still holding up. This thing could possibly be a play to break the mid ones and get back to two-ish and break from there. Um, we'll just need a bunch of volume, as you can see. Very serious volume on this day. But yeah, so I'm trying to ramble and say a bunch of ums, so that's a tell that it is end of the video. But I hope someone was able to take anything away from this in regards to momentum, short covering, just kind of the psychology with shorts and how to play both sides and recognizing when momentum is shifting. Uh, in the case with Muln on this day, it was VWAP. VWAP for me was the key, as I explained before. When it started fading, every morning, every day, it kept failing VWAP, except for this morning, where it was holding up above VWAP on strong volume, and that led me to think that it would head higher. And the way I played this was not exactly how I typically would. I got in pretty early because I was pretty confident in that VWAP hold. Um, got in 78, 76 was my entry. Held up here. The ideal entry probably would have been 82, get out 91 into the spike here, just a quick 10% plus. Uh, as you can see, this hold right here is completely different than what it was been offering, as well as you got this failure to continue lower. It was just kind of more of a fake out here pre-market. So just looking for small key indicators and just differences in the price action that start showing more bullish indicators and slow down in the march downwards from shorts. So we'll wrap it up there. We're at 16 minutes. Hope this was helpful. So it's getting late now. I'm gonna study up a little bit, sleep, and get ready for another great day tomorrow.